rise one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio.
And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
This is Coach Robinson, Khadevis Robinson, and welcome to the Khadevis Robinson Challenge. Every week I come to you guys with a different challenge, and many times I find that the challenge that I'm giving the audience and the challenge I'm giving you is a challenge I need to give myself also. And today is no different. Today the challenge is going to be called A Change is Coming. This challenge is something that I have to really think about for my life right now, because we all know the only constant in life is change. And the thing about that is change can be hard. It can be difficult. And while going through the many changes that we go through every day, and to be quite honest with you, to go through the changes that I'm going through right now, I started reading a book, and it's a section in the book that I wanted to relay to you guys. The section is called A Change is Coming. And there's a quote from Judith Jamison, who was the director of the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, that says, "There's a freshness and uniqueness about dance because it constantly changes. Variety is the spice of life." Let me repeat that. Variety is the spice of life. Now, there's a quote that says, "Two caterpillars were crawling across the grass when a butterfly flew over them. As they looked up, one nudged the other and said, 'You couldn't get me up in one of those for $1 million.'" You've heard it said that we should never change a proven success formula. Generally speaking, the majority would agree with that statement. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But sometimes there's a time and a place for change. Imagine what it would be like if the owner of an aquarium never changed the water in the tank. It wouldn't be long before the fish would die. Changing the water and keeping it circulating allowed the fish to thrive in that habitat. It's much the same with us. Without change, we would stagnate. Although many of us resist it, change forces us to grow and evolve, to become more flexible, resilient, and confident. Our task is to transcend any fear of the unknown and encourage ourselves to change what needs to be different in order for our lives to flow freely and creatively. Now, the thing about that is he's saying we have to encourage ourselves, because we a lot of times we look outside of ourselves for encouragement. But there comes a time in which you're going to have to encourage yourself. And also, that statement says that we have to transcend any fear of the unknown, because a lot of times that's what keeps us from moving forward. It's just that fear. Now, an African proverb tells a story of a teacher who gave her student a silk scarf snarled in many knots. The student's assignment was to unite the knots, a chore he struggled with until he realized that in order to succeed, he had to untie the last knot first. Think about this. To change our lives for the better, we must untangle our most immediate challenge or our last knot of difficulty, so our scarf will be permitted to flutter gently in the breeze. From this day forward, you must welcome change. You must embrace it. You must do that to break from the routine. My challenge for you this week is to look at the changes that's going on in your life, to look at the decisions you must make and the fears that you're facing, and look at those and say, okay, this is just change. And just like that caterpillar going into becoming a butterfly, they have to change. You must change also and embrace the change. Khadevis Robinson, this is the Khadevis Robinson Challenge. And I'll holler.
1, 2. Let me show y'all how to have swag. Eternal style. Come on, follow me. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you want to have swag, man, it ain't that hard. Just simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you want to have swag, man, it ain't that hard. I just got to brag. See, I got the swag, make the devil get mad. And it makes me glad. Like a Scottish man dressed in all plaid. I wear it loud, I wear it proud. down in the crowd, 'cause I'm shining like a diamond. And when them storms come, man, I'm reclining on his outstretched arm, leaning on the Lord. The fools got guns, well, man, I got a sword, and it's a double edge. It cut both ways. Though I walk through the valley of death, I'm not afraid. I fear no evil. My God is with me, and He prepares a table before my enemy. Now that's super swag, not for the faint of heart. You can have it too if you worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you wanna have swag, man, it ain't that hard. Just simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you wanna have swag, man, it ain't that hard. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He gives me so much swag, I can't help but flaunt. And yeah, I brag, but it's in the Lord. Them other gods are false, so what you bragging for? Some brag on cars and they clothes, but I brag on God who could save my soul, and He's in control of the whole universe. So in my life, I put Him first, above my wife, above my children. On Christ, the solid rock I'm building. And though the rains fall and the floods came and the winds blew, but still the house remained, and you can have the same. All you need is faith and the mustard seed to win life's race. In first place, it ain't that hard. Just simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you wanna have swag, man, it ain't that hard. Just simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. Simply worship Almighty God. If you wanna have swag, man, it ain't that hard. So now you know if you wanna have swag, you don't have to hang with the thugs and act bad. You don't have to be a desperado. The devil is a liar that you don't have to follow. Let your motto be to serve the Lord, then your bravado will be like a lion when he roars. I said it once before, it ain't that hard. Just simply worship Almighty God.
Simply, oh God. Simply, oh God. Simply, oh God. If you wanna have swag, man, it ain't hard. Just simply, oh God. Simply, oh God. Simply, oh God. If you wanna have swag,